now.
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
Calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels now. Calling all angels now. Calling all you angels.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. You can hear us and see us each and every week or anytime you like on YouTube, simply by bringing up your YouTube on your phone or at your home, whatever your leisure is, and type in Rated R, the number 4, Recovery, and we come right up. And as you can see, our logo, if you're watching at home right now, this is the logo behind me, and we'll let you know that that you are. I'm an addict. My name's John.
Hey, John.
And my co-host down the hall from me here is
I'm an alcoholic. My name is Joy. Welcome to the show.
Joy. We'll get.
Aw.
Thank you very much. That was a little smattering of applause from the crowd. We have a live audience, don't we? Very nice. Very nice. Joy, would you tell the audience and the people listening at home what Rated R for Recovery is?
Our mission statement. Rated R for Recovery is a recovery-based, faith-driven program bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals and families impacted by addiction. Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment, we strive to be a catalyst for change for all who wish to recover.
Very nice. And Joy and I have a couple of announcements before the start of the show. We have a great lineup of guests for you tonight, as usual. But before we do, I'd like to recognize the Salvation Army for their continued support in what we do, making us part of their curriculum for the Department of Corrections 6-month program. So thank you to the Salvation
Thanks,
Army.
guys.
My cousin Bonnie from Philadelphia,
Hey,
who's
Bonnie.
a staunch supporter of the show, watches every week. And Jim in Canada. We like Jim. Jim Lovrod. Jim L. in Saskatchewan. Pretty cold up there.
Yeah, probably not right now.
Right, maybe not now.
It's hot right now up there right now, I think. I
it's-
think they're having some fires. And
In Canada? Yeah.
oh, yeah.
All right, Jim, you want to check in with us on the fires, please?
Fires.
Okay. Now, also, we want to thank Fort Hope for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, and Safe Harbor House for being here tonight. Very nice. Okay. And anybody else that's here, thank you for coming. So, Joy, go ahead. You have an announcement to make.
I have a couple announcements. Every Wednesday from 3 to 4, right here, 507 Center Road in Fort Myers at Kimmies, they have a thing called WRAP, W-R-A-P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan. It's for people experiencing grief, where you can come and have a safe space to share, heal, and find hope. They use the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and they explore practical tools to support healing, to build resilience, and to nurture hope. And then the last Thursday of every single month from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here at Kimmies, they have coffee and canteen for veterans. You start your morning with some coffee and some good company, uplifting fellowship with fellow veterans, followed by grocery shopping for all veterans in need. Come early, stay connected, and leave with essentials.
Very nice. We refer to this location as the KRZ Studios, and we affectionately call it that because we broadcast from this place each and every week. And we're just so thankful to the staff at Kimmies Recovery Zone, because KRZ stands for Kimmies Recovery Zone, and we are thankful for the staff here. In fact, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Party in the Park, which is an annual event that Kimmies Recovery Zone does to benefit their organization and create overdose awareness. It is an annual party, this year to be held at the Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral on September 12th, starting at 11 o'clock. And you're going to see all different outlets of recovery there. There'll be sober living houses there. There'll be treatment centers there. There'll be detoxes there. There'll be cognitive behavioral therapists there. All different ways of getting and staying clean. Remember, it's not how we get clean. It's how we
stay clean.
Very nice. So that's Kimmy's Party in the Park. That's September 12th. And a Country and Western fundraiser.
Fundraiser.
Aruka. is yes, and it is Saturday, September 26th from 2 to 4 at the Aruca Ranch in LaBelle. So there'll be a great DJ out there. And
Oh, that's what I heard.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And then also, just so because we're so excited that Luna is going to be on the show
Oh, we love
in a
Luna.
couple of weeks. She's a violinist that's been graced our stage in the past. And then we also have a young lady who was a regular on Rated R for Recovery some years ago and has reconnected with us. And she was on a world tour. She opened for Melissa Etheridge on Melissa Etheridge's world tour, and her name is Kelly Neff, and she'll be on September 1st. That being
Excited about
said,
it.
I'm going to bring somebody from the audience up to talk about what they were like, what happened, and what they're like today. Please welcome Isaac.
Isaac, come on up here. You can do it.
He can. I don't know if I can.
Hey, Isaac.
How you doing?
Joy.
Isaac.
Okay. All right. So, just get these old bones situated in the chair. We have different people from different backgrounds at different times because the one thing that a lot of us have in common is the feeling of hopelessness when we're out there using, drinking, and drugging. The feeling of there's no way out of this situation that I've put myself in because I don't have a drinking problem. I have a thinking problem. So we're going to be talking with Isaac. Isaac, you are doing a great job today. We see you as a volunteer at the Kimmies Friday afternoon lunch for the homeless. We see you at different events, always participating. But it probably always wasn't like that, was it?
Oh no, not at all.
So first of all, how old are you?
25.
25. Interesting. Very good. Joy?
That's young.
That's yeah. I'm just thinking I've got an ingrown toenail that's 25.
Depends on how old you were when you started.
I was 20.
20.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, 20.
So the
Late
first
bloomer.
time you took a hit off a blunt or a drink was you were 20 years old?
I mean, it was before that.
Okay,
So,
tell us about how it started and where it went.
So when I was in high school, freshman year, I used to hang out with my friends a lot, and that's when I got introduced to marijuana. Smoking before school, coming to school late, smelling like weed, and things of that nature. But yeah, I'd say my freshman year in high school, that's when I got introduced to marijuana.
Did people, you just say, coming to school smelling like weed, would the principals, vice principals, grade advisors, or teachers saying, "Hey, Isaac, you smell like weed"? Were they ever confronting you about it?
No, not really.
How about your mom and dad?
My dad definitely knew, cause I'd come home, eyes red, and I didn't want to look at him, of course. But yeah, my dad knew, cause I was living with him at the time.
What was his reaction?
He wasn't too happy. I'll tell you that. He just wanted to make sure I was safe. But at the same time, like he wasn't condoning it, of course. But he also wanted to make sure I was doing it safe.
Okay, all right. And so did it progress from there? Did it get worse?
Yeah, marijuana got worse as I went through high school. I didn't really start drinking until I was 21 though. But every so often, smoking weed turned into every day before and after school.
Okay. Yeah, me too. In fact, Joy, I don't know what your experience is with. They always say marijuana is a gateway drug. For me, alcohol was the gateway drug. I drank before I did anything else. Joy, your story on that?
Oh, alcohol first, last, and
In between?
everything else was in between. Everything else was just something else to do, but it was always alcohol from 11.
So
Till I
they
quit.
say, and I don't know who they are, that we always gravitate to our drug of choice. And whatever our drug of choice is, well, we'll find out if we keep going. And what was your drug of choice eventually, Isaac?
Cocaine and alcohol.
All right. So when did that come into play?
When I was 20, just going to parties. I really loved to party. Like I was never a person that would, be down or I mean, I was down, but that was my escape to party and just have fun. Because I always thought like, at that age I was like, I got time to grow up. I'm still young, so I didn't care. So that's what I decided to do was party.
And how did it get out of hand?
Oh, absolutely.
Could tell us about it.
started doing too much, mixing this and that.
Wait
I
a minute.
do.
When you say mixing this and that, what does that mean?
So when I was partying, like when I first started partying, before I was able to like go to a bar because I wasn't 21 yet, I would do like ecstasy, um, do a lot of acid or shrooms, things of that nature. And just anything I can kind of get my hands on, or anything that the plug that I was hanging around had. But it was all uppers, all party drugs, living in hotels, trapping.
How do you afford to live in a hotel?
I'm not gonna say necessarily I could afford it. The guy I was hanging around, he would look after me like he, you know, take care of everything for me, so that way I wouldn't have to. As long as I sold the product that
Ah,
he had, then I had a place to stay.
So that's where we're getting to, where people, this, I don't know if anybody or everybody, I shouldn't say anybody, everybody can identify with, people at home, people here in the audience can identify with what we call the street life. And the street life, there's no love on the street, and it just doesn't work after a while. In the beginning, it's fun, and then it's not. In the beginning, it works, and then it doesn't. Is that your experience?
Yeah, for sure.
So this plug or this dealer, I'm assuming, put you in a hotel, paid for everything, and you sold his product for him?
Yeah,
And you did that because you're the one that's going to jail if anything happens, not him,
yeah, yeah.
basically.
When you put it that way, yes.
Yeah, oh, I know that. Yes, because I was a mule myself. So, okay, so these, that's how it works. That's how the game works, where they'll put you out there and you do what they want you to do because you think it's fun, or you think you're making money, or in my case, getting more drugs, and we do whatever it takes to get more. I should say I do. So, okay, so you're doing this thing, and what happens?
I mean, I started doing a lot. Burning bridges with my family. I'd pass out, and because I would do so much at a time, to where I'd pass out, lose my phone, end up somewhere like at the beach by myself,
Not knowing how you got there?
not knowing how I got there at all. But just like gradually, as I was doing it, just burning a lot of bridges. Getting into it with my family members, my siblings, my friends, and just life was just it was like a cycle, and it
Would you say that the biggest devastation of what I do or what we do in this case is that we hurt the people we love and that love us?
absolutely.
Like our families, our siblings. In that case, Joy, can you identify with that?
oh yeah, and our children.
Yeah, yes, especially yes.
Yeah,
Well,
because
not especially. It all depends on what your journey's like, and the when I wake up places that I don't know where I've been, and for those of you at home that might not this expression, it's called a blackout, where I use so much of a substance that I don't lose consciousness, but I all of a sudden don't know where I am the next day or where I've been, and
I would say I was asleep and I just forgot to lie down.
yeah. Oh,
Sleepwalking. Just
okay, so Isaac, how did it progress from there? So you were doing this deal in the hotel room for this person, and did you ever get caught?
no, luckily I didn't get caught doing that. I started getting caught once I was able to go out to the bar and just live life on the edge. Because I was just moving too, like, cocaine, it's an adrenaline rush. So you always, I already got so much energy. So my energy was just through the roof. And I wasn't moving correctly. I was moving too fast, and I ended up getting caught up over
So
time.
you weren't on point when you were out there.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, so how did what started to happen? What kind of things started to go wrong?
Uh, I wasn't good at hiding it. My first incident, I was with this young lady, and we were driving, or she was driving to her house after a long night, and she was going over the speed limit. And I looked to my right, and I just see 4 officers. And I shook my head. I was thinking to myself, like, dang, we might get pulled over. So we did, and they ended up taking her for DUI, and they told me I can go because they asked me for my ID, but I thought felt my pockets and my ID wasn't on me, my wallet wasn't on me, so I thought I left it at the bar. But I guess it had slipped, fell out of my pocket, ended up under the seat. So once they told me I can go, this was right over by Costco on 41. I went to Costco to call a ride, and the cop car went around the block, or went around the parking lot. He said, "Hey, young man, we found your wallet. You can go back to the car and grab it." So I go to the car and grab it, and I knew something wasn't right, but I needed
Mhm.
my wallet. So once I went to the car, they pushed me against the car and arrested me because I had a bag of cocaine in my wallet.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, all right. And so when you get when do we get to the point where you say I can't live this way anymore?
I had failed I had my last time on probation. Well, I've always been on probation for like 2.5 years, but the last time I had pissed dirty, and my probation officer walked in, and I looked her dead in her eyes, and I told her I needed help, and I would do anything to not end up in prison or not continue to serve a longer time in jail.
So
Did you really feel that at that time? Did you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because at the same time when things started hitting the fan, I had just realized and found out I was going to be a father.
Oh,
So I think that ultimatum that the mother of my child gave me to at the time was something I needed to hear, because I didn't really care to live or die. Like I would just I feel like I was just young and turned. Didn't want to listen to nobody. Thought I knew it all, but really I was just escaping that pain I was dealing with at the same time. But I definitely meant it with everything in me, because I knew that I was on a path of self destruction, and I know the potential I have. I know the way I am outside of the drug. So it's just like, damn, I do need to get my life together because I know where this is going to lead. So
and so did they give you that chance?
yeah, I sat in jail for like almost 2 months, but my probation officer, she was the probation officer at Salvation Army, so I ended up going to Salvation Army for 6 months.
the DOC program at Salvation Army. In
Yeah.
fact, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Salvation Army watches us and makes us part of their curriculum every week. They watch us on a Friday every week, and we're grateful to have their support. It's a wonderful program. All these programs are out there for us to have help, providing we want it. And if we don't want it, then it's not going to work, because we have so many different resources. And in the community, you have Kimmies Recovery Zone. You have Salus Care. That's here in Southwest Florida, by the way. You have Safe Harbor House. You have a multitude of different
Oxford houses.
Oxford houses, Fort Hope, all these different things that are here to help. And what happens is I don't have a drinking problem, I have a thinking problem. So I get to a point where I can't do this any longer, and I'm hurting the people I love and that love me. And I come to the realization that I've got a problem and I can't fix it. So then I ask somebody for help, and I say, please help me. And there's something called ego. In recovery, we say EGO, edging God out. And what happens is that when I get the help that I so desperately need, then all of a sudden my ego creeps back in, and some, not always, but a lot of times people say, well, this is not what I signed up for.
I overreacted. I don't need it that bad. I'm better. I'm not as bad as some of these people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm grateful because since you've come in, that hasn't happened to you. You've maintained an attitude of gratitude, correct, since
Oh.
you got here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And there were obviously, you said you were on probation for 2 years, so there were obviously different situations that happened other than that first arrest with that bag of Coke in your wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a vicious cycle. These things would happen. Oh, like for me, I went to jail every 6 months at one point.
Yeah, it was insanity. Kept doing the same thing, expecting different results. But
What did the Salvation Army DOC program do for you?
you know, that's a place that I'll probably never forget. Because just to to know that I have a problem at my age, and take accountability and acknowledge that, and want to change my life, it's a big step.
It is.
But yeah, I learned so much there. And it was just it was something it's something that I always hold with me, because if it wasn't for that, so if it wasn't for Salvation Army, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably still be out there. But I think it was something I needed at the time, because I know things happen for a reason. So the route I was going, it wasn't me. It was the drugs taking over me. But
Absolutely.
I realized that that was something I needed.
Okay, so we go to Salvation Army for 6 months. You graduate from that program.
Yeah.
Where do you go after that?
Salus Care.
And then wait, for the 28-day program for
No,
the what?
for halfway.
Okay, how did that work out?
It went well.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really necessarily follow the rules, but that's why I had to go.
What do you mean you had to go? What happened?
Let's just say, you know,
Was women involved?
yeah.
Okay, all right. We won't go any further than that.
That's kind
something
of what I thought too.
That's a common factor in a lot of our recovery.
And then I met a man, or Then I met someone.
So they say I don't know who they are, but for the young men in recovery or men in recovery, that under every skirt is a slip, and for the young ladies in recovery, a man's going to pat you on the butt, another woman's going to help save it. So that's what happens in early recovery. Not always, but it can happen. So beware, as the crocodile hunter would say, danger, danger, danger. So I have a hole in me, and I want to fill it with drugs and alcohol, when in actuality, my higher power wants me to fill it with him. But I want to fill it with something that makes me feel good. And if you take the drugs and alcohol away from me, well, what makes me feel good? Another person, another woman. So I get validation. And it's so common in early recovery. So you went through that experience at Salis Care. And then they said you must have done it more than once, correct?
No, we weren't getting caught until we got caught. So it was good while it lasted, but things happen for a reason. So we ended up getting caught.
Where'd you go from there?
I reached out to someone that I was in Salvation Army with, and I asked for the owner of Safe House Harbor's number, and I ended up talking to Craig, and I told him my situation. He was very honest, pure, and open with me. He didn't.
What did Craig tell you?
He just told me like I wouldn't mind giving you a chance, but you have to want it, and just don't get high. Like, I'm gonna give you a chance, but at the same time, you have to show me that that you're ready for it.
Okay, so knowing Craig as I do, he probably said a little bit more than just don't get high.
Yeah, yeah, always, always.
So okay, so and so you went from Salis Care to Craig's Safe Harbor House,
Yes,
correct? And how have you done since you've gotten there?
I feel like I've excelled in so many different ways.
What's good?
What's good?
What's good, baby?
Everything's good.
What's good, baby?
Yeah, everything's good.
You have a job?
Yeah, of course. I work at Firestone Grill Room in the kitchen downtown Fort Myers, and I also do maintenance for like all the KRG restaurants downtown from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then I go in at my night job from like 4 to 10
Very
Wow.
good. When do you have time for your recovery?
every day.
Okay,
But
tell us about what you do for your recovery every day.
I give back to the community. Whether it's helping out Kimmies Recovery, go to church, spend time with my daughter, and I do photography. That's something that keeps me grounded, keeps me at peace.
I hear you excel at photography, actually.
I do my thing.
Very
Nice.
good, very good. So what is there anything we left out about your
Uh,
story that you want to get out to the public or to the people here?
no, I just want to tell people, don't give up on yourself,
Mm.
and don't hesitate to ask questions, because I know in my heart, we all need somebody to realize that we are somebody. So just don't give up. Give yourself the chance to try recovery, because it's a beautiful thing.
Do you get a chance to talk to young people in any way, shape, or form through the connections we have in recovery?
Um, Besides like people reaching out on social media, I haven't really had a one-on-one or a sit down. I shared a meeting at Salvation Army, but when it comes to like younger people, not really. Besides my siblings, but that's something that I look forward to doing in the near future.
Very good, very good. Give Isaac a big
Yeah.
round of applause, everybody. So that did a great job, Isaac, and we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we go to a segment we affectionately call Kimmies Korner, and Al has a guest that's a very special person in my life for many years, documentary filmmaker Long John Biffar. We'll have that right after this messages.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud.
He had a little girl named Kimmy.
with a laugh that lit the room. Then fentanyl came like a storm cloud and took her away too soon. He kneeled down by her bedside with a prayer he could not shake. Then he said, I won't just break here, I will build for others' sake. So we opened up the doors where the hurting could walk in, with a couch, a meal, a blanket, and a chance to start again. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. There are folding chairs and coffee. There are boxes by the wall. There are nights he stays up answering every single call. A father with a broken heart who turned pain into a light. Now he hands out help in silence till somebody makes it right. From the ashes of his sorrow, he made shelter out of grief. And now every soul that reaches finds a place to breathe. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For Kimmy, he keeps going. For the ones who need a way. For the moms and dads and brothers who are fighting night by day. If your hands are full of falling, if your name feels far from hope, step inside, the door is open. You are not alone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud. Hi, this is Al Kinkle. We would like to invite everyone to Party in the Park 2026 on September 12th during National Recovery Month. This year's event will be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. For sponsorship packages and volunteer info, visit kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. Let's make this year's event the most memorable yet.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear. Now,
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
calling all angels.
And welcome back, everybody, to Rated R for Recovery. Rated R for Recovery on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for the notifications. We'd be very grateful for your support. Next week's show, Joy, is just as good as this week's show. Maybe this one's a little bit better. Maybe next one. Who knows? But we have a fireman, an ex-fireman on is our first guest. And we have Miriam from the Gladiolus Food Bank on the Kimmies Korner segment.
Nice.
And then a super up-and-coming singer and performer going to be singing on the show.
Oh, super.
It's
What's
good-
the name?
Joy.
Oh, Joy.
Yeah, very
The
good.
best
Yeah.
singer in the world.
Yes.
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we affection. Oh, by the way, did I mention Dr. Bob and Bill W. at the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater?
You didn't.
October 2nd, everybody. It's a play about the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous. The play is called Bill W. and Dr. Bob, and that's October 2nd at the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater. And we'd like to thank the family that owns the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater.
Prathers.
Yes, for their support in recovery.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we affectionately call this segment Kimmies Korner. And the guest is, well, I'm going to let Al introduce him, but he's got a special spot in my heart because when I was out there using and drinking and drugging, he never ever said no to me. I don't mean like money and stuff like that. He gave me a job when he was doing a movie called Captiva with Bill Cobbs, I believe, Artie Johnson,
Ernest Borgnine.
And
Wow.
and that guy,
Norma Miller.
and the banana, yes, and Norma too.
That was like a minute ago then.
John, keep
So,
talking, man.
but
I
he-
like this.
No, he let me, and he would help. He would take me. He would do little commercials and stuff like that, and he would let me be a grip because I didn't have anybody that would pay me any money to do anything. Nobody wanted any part of me, and you always
Always here for you, just like you are for everybody out there.
right. Thanks.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now, ladies and gentlemen, enough of that. Let me stop crying for a second and introduce the founder of Kimmies Recovery Zone and the host of Kimmies Korner. This is Al Kinkle.
Whoa. Good evening. Boy, that was a good introduction of John Biffar, my dear, dear friend.
Yeah, I never said his name either. I figured that. I
Well,
figured he'd let you do
You
that.
said you'd
say
let
that.
Al do
Well,
it.
there's a camera out there somewhere, right?
We're going to be on YouTube a little bit here. In fact, we're on now, and probably Heidi's watching. Heidi Webb. We're going to announce her a little later on. So I want to make sure that we get this show on the road. It's a pleasure and an honor for me tonight to have John Biffar with us to talk a little bit about some of the things that he's done. He doesn't want to really talk about himself. He doesn't like doing that. But we have to acknowledge the fact that he's one of the greatest documentary persons I've ever met in my life, one of the nicest persons I've met in my life. He helped me when I was really at the low end of my life, so to speak. And he picked me up with that video that you see on YouTube, and he was the first one to do that video. And when I met him in his office, he said, "I'll do that video for you." And I hate saying this because somebody else will hit you up too, but I didn't have too much money. So, but John took hold of us and been a guiding light for me all these years. John, I thank you for the 10 years that you've given us here, here at Kimmies Recovery Zone.
So basically, that's what you do. You just help people that need help, and it's been that way since the Draft House days back in the early '90s as well. So,
Well, I guess it's when you think about it this way, we're all going to need help at one point.
Yeah.
And there's something called karma, right?
Yeah.
So it's like people that teach often do so to remind themselves, right? So we're all in it together. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. And I really, coming into this life and this segment of my whole lifespan, has been interesting because that's what it is, that we're all in it to help each other and give each other a hand up, and we do that every day. It's great. And you're an angel in that field. So we thank you for that, John. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to mention too is John's won 9 Emmy Awards, and he's had a wonderful career, 9 Emmy Awards. And he doesn't want me to talk about him, but I have to talk about him. And many of the films focus on hope, resilience, and ordinary people make an extraordinary difference. And that's why these stories come to light, because, just ordinary people with just great stories. And I think John hooked on to this segment of what we do is because these stories that we're doing are for the neighborhood, for the community, and we're bringing people up. That's what we hope to do every single day, and John's helped us do that all the way. So, John, what's some of the films that you did and that inspired you to do it? I know you saw some great ones, Mother Mary, different ones like that.
Yeah, it's funny. You said you have a fireman coming in
Yeah.
next week. One of the most amazing films I was ever involved in had to do actually with my father. He was chief in the New York City Fire Department, and he ran what's called the Marine Division. And when 9/11 happened, they couldn't put the fire out because all of the mains, the water mains, were crushed. And the only way they were able to put the fire out is the pumps from the different fire boats, right? And the guy that had my father's job, his name was Al Fuentes, he got buried actually in both collapses. The first one, he was in a garage and he got out of that fairly easily. And the second one, someone came by and they just heard his radio and he was under the rubble. And they had to dig him out, and they couldn't put him on an ambulance because no ambulance could get there. But the fire boats were along Battery Park, and they had triage set up in New Jersey. So they took this man to New Jersey. President Bush at the time came by the hospital to visit him, and he was so sick his wife wouldn't let him in to talk to him.
Oh,
Wow.
But on the first 4th of July, after 9/11, he met up with my father and my own son, and met on the boat they both served on, the firefighter. So he told my father the story of 9/11, and my dad told him the story about the fires that preceded him. My father retired in 1968. So we did this film for the History Channel, and it's the History Channel sells a packet of films of 9/11. I think there's 5 or 6 of them, and that's one of them. So that was, and this year will be the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and we'll be back. And I was looking at your calendar because the very next day is your event in the park. So I don't know if I can make it there because I have to film that ceremony for a new film that we're doing.
Can we go back and watch these films on the History Channel? Is it with streaming devices? What's the title?
Well, if you go on YouTube, you can certainly see a promo for Fireboats of 9/11.
Okay.
So you'll see it on YouTube. But the interesting, life is very, very strange, and things seem to go full circle. I like the word serendipity because I think if you pay attention, it happens a lot. And for me, that word is just God winking at you, right? Like people say coincidence, I say God incidents, right?
Yeah.
And I think, when you look at I think that there's 2 places we can live every day. We live in fear, and we know what that's like, that knot in your stomach and worrying about whatever it is. Or you live in faith, and they're 2 very different addresses, and you can't be in both places at the same time.
Yeah.
my sponsor used to say that to me a lot when I first got sober. Faith or fear, what's it going to be? And some days I'd be like, I'm just scared. I'm just going to be scared. She's like, well, that's okay, for now, but faith or fear, what's it going to be?
And fear is the worst thing that can possess us, and it does possess us all the time.
Well, it likes to sneak in,
Yeah.
And that's why, coming here and seeing all these people cheer for you and cheer for each other.
Yeah.
It's like I said, you remind each other to remind yourself, right?
Yeah.
Of these truths that we know are truths. And sometimes when it's dark out, you forget the truth.
Yeah.
But what's that line? The truth shall set you free, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Certainly did set me free. And, it's amazing what when we look around and the people that we're, work with and sooner or later come to change their lives, they learn to have no fear. And, that's a great saying, no fear, and that's what we want people to, don't be afraid of don't be afraid to step away from drugs, alcohol, and all that. You're going to be okay. You're going to be good. I talked to a lot of people here tonight and how their lives have changed. It's just miracles.
My husband says, so you're scared. Do it scared.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can do it scared. If you're afraid of something, just do it anyway. But go
I
ahead.
was just about to say the same thing as Joy did.
That's
because
okay. I stole
he
it from
said
you.
that for a long time.
Yeah.
Very good quote.
John, you Peace Vision. You started Peace Vision, and what was the thought process behind that Peace Vision? And I've seen so many of your documentaries, Mother Mary, Cuba, different the one in in Africa. I saw that one. That one was really something. You talk about somebody that had no fear, and that was a great story. So what pushed you into that?
Peace vision itself was, well, when people think of peace, they think of war, right? And that's really not what I had in mind. I think that each one of us gets robbed of our own peace through various things, right? If you're sick with cancer, it's hard to be at peace. If you're financially broke, it's hard to be at peace. If you're in an addiction, it's hard to be at peace. A bad relationship, right? So all those things rob individuals of their peace. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a place you could go on the web where you could get help with those different areas in your life through books and, through the podcasts that we do. And at the same time, we decided it would be a great platform for nonprofits to tell their story. And so that's kind of where it came from.
Yeah, and those stories are helpful for all of us. I know myself when I look at those stories, that one really sticks in my head. The African one, just the forgiveness about that.
Yeah,
her story.
There's a woman he's referring to. Her name is Immaculée Ilibageza, and she was caught up in the genocide that happened in Rwanda when the Hutus turned against the Tutsis, and in 90 days, over 1 million people were slaughtered. And this woman hid in a Tutu preacher's home, right? And he hid her. And if he got caught hiding her, he would have been killed.
Sure.
But he hid 4 different women, and he put a dresser in front of what was a bathroom. And they stayed there for 60 days, something like that. And she went in weighing 150 pounds. She came out weighing 67 pounds. Wow. And the killers circled the place. They searched the house, and all she could do was pray. And she happens to be Catholic, and she had a rosary. And she told her story, and she wrote a book that you can get. It's called Left to Tell. We were able to tell her story. But what was really amazing, she invited me to her home in Rwanda, and the guy that they hired as the handyman around the house was told on the radio, you kill the people, the Tutsis, and you can have the land, you can have the cows. So the handyman killed most of the family, and he eventually got sentenced to 10 years in prison. And when I arrived to film the story, and they burned the house down, right? So she rebuilt the house, and inside of it, she had an altar there. And when I was there, this group of priests came from Ireland, and they had a mass there. And guess who was standing right next to her during mass? The guy that killed her whole family was right next to her. And she had obviously forgiven him. And I interviewed this priest afterwards, and he said, if she can forgive the person that killed her entire family, then there's hope that maybe I can forgive the little things.
Right. Exactly.
But so when I heard that story, and I kept thinking, and who am I mad at, and why, and why am I holding on to that? So it was unbelievable testimony. Immaculée Ilibageza is her name. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody out there that heard that, don't be afraid to forgive yourself, and don't be afraid to forgive somebody else. It makes life a lot easier on you and the person that you're trying not to forgive. I mean, that story just put chills up and down my spine. What an amazing person. Her whole family was killed, and it was killed to get their farm and get the cattle and things like that.
Right.
And she was able to forgive and help that guy out at the end of the day.
There's another woman that I want to bring up, who I was fortunate enough. My career started off in television news, and I was the feature reporter. And I had a really cool boss that gave me a lot of latitude. I would be off in different countries doing promotionals and come back and do a series. And I say, Wink sent you out to Mexico to go bill fishing? Oh, yeah, sure. Let them think what they want. But my boss was a guy named Jim Bennett. And Jim was told more stories from Vietnam than anyone. He was a war correspondent. And actually, we have a movie in development right now about his life. It's called War Junkies.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's really pertinent now because of, I was also fortunate enough to work with Walter Cronkite. And,
Yeah.
you know, in his day, it's the facts and only the facts. And when somebody had a commentary, they would clearly mark it special. This is not a news report. This is a commentary, and that's how it was marked. And, you know, today we're at an age where, you know, Roger Ailes, smart guy, was a script writer for Nixon. And he went to Rupert Murdoch and says, I know how to get ratings. Tell people what they want to hear. So all of a sudden, now don't get this wrong, Fox News was born and CNN got their butt kicked in the ratings. And so they took the other side of the story. And now we're living in a country where we're being divided by ratings and money, and people are not smart enough to realize it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's, in my view, what's happening right now. So I love when, you know, you look back on the days where we could have different opinions and still get along and still be friends.
Absolutely.
And not be named lunatics or whatever you want to call one side or the other. But it was, you know, the United States, right? And we have become the divided states.
Yes.
And I hope that changes.
So I'm old enough to remember Walter Cronkite, Huntley Brinkley, and people of that, even Mr. Morrow at certain points, you know, through reels and such like that. Who do we have to turn to today for that we can trust?
Well, you know, it's a different animal today, you know, because it's not the guy, right, or the woman. It's the network executive. And, you know, you're told what to say on the air today. You really don't have that latitude that they had to, you know, be your own person. So it's and especially now with AI coming in, you watch stuff, you don't know, is that real or is it?
That's right.
You can't even trust your own eyes anymore.
You know, there was a thing I saw with Dick Van Dyke, and I watched this thing, Dick Van Dyke talking about Alzheimer's, and his father struggled with Alzheimer's, and his brother struggled with Alzheimer's, and him saying that he didn't have it, and this is why XYZ, to come to find out that the whole thing was fabricated. I saw Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
It looked like Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
It sounded like Dick Van Dyke,
Yeah.
but it wasn't Dick Van Dyke.
Right. So I think I got out of the news business at the right time.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but where I was going was with the story was I was able to travel to Guatemala, and I spent 10 years making a story about a woman who I still put, you know, as like the person I'd look up to the most in the world. I would describe her name is Kari Engen, and at 20 years old, she moved from Maryland to Guatemala City, and she lived in the city dump in Guatemala. And the way I got to meet her was there was a developer who built the building that we had a film studio in, and he happened to have, he was more interested in what we were doing than his own business, so he'd hang out a lot. And he'd say, well, let me show you this video. I just was in Guatemala. I'm like, okay, you know. It was this pretty, you know, one scene to another. He's got his new girlfriend, and they're at one beach, and I'm waiting for the film to end. When finally there's this shot of this woman in the middle of this city dump, right, which is horrendous, vultures everywhere. And this little kid is on her lap, and she says, this is Enrique. His father was killed in a machete fight last night. His mother's an alcoholic, but we're just praying he's going to be okay. And I said, and he said to me, listen, my girlfriend's father is running for president of the country rather. His name is Ayao, right? Would you do a commercial? Because they don't really have a lot of high-end commercial stuff there. I said, I'll do it if I can meet this woman, right? So we go to Guatemala. I'm in the back of this pickup truck surrounded with guys with submachine guns, because what I didn't know is it was sport to knock off the candidate then. You know, there was the right-wing death squad, there was a left-wing death squad, and over 100,000 people were killed within the last 4 or 5 years in this civil war. So I really, you know, and this was way before, there was no internet. I had a book, and I got from the library called Guatemala, Eternal Spring, Eternal Tyranny. And I see the head of the right-wing death squad and the left-wing death. So anyway, so we're off and we're doing this campaign. And the way they campaign is they go to villages and the people come out and they're kissing babies, and, you know, people come out of nowhere, right? But they're surrounded by all these guys with submachine guns and so forth. So the next morning at breakfast, sitting at the table, this guy walks up. He's got a voice box. And I look at him and I'm like, this guy looks really familiar. I couldn't figure out where I'd seen him before. And then it came to me, he was the head of the right-wing death squad.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's who was backing this campaign. So then he's like, "Oh, you got him enough footage?" "Oh yeah, we got plenty." I was like, get me out of
Get
here!
out of
right?
here, man. I want to go
So
home.
then finally, I get to go and meet the girl that I wanted to. The reason I went there, who wanted nothing to do with me, and I'm like, what? No. What had happened was there was a film crew that came there from Texas. And they took all this footage and they went back to the States and they raised a bunch of money for themselves.
Oh, geez.
Right? So she made me sign a contract right then and there that if I filmed anything, it would all go right back to her school because she started a school for the kids at the dump. Right? So fast forward, I'm working on this film for a couple of years, and people in Southwest Florida, I was doing news back then, and we'd have like Christmas drives. And we flew a DC-3 of stuff down there for the kids. And finally, there was a guy I played tennis with who happened to be a very wealthy gentleman by the name of Paul Bush. And I told him about it. And he says, "Well, let me go and check it out." Well, Paul goes down and buys a piece of property outside of the dump in the hillside, beautiful countryside, and purchased school buses for these kids. So she was able to open up the stuff. And then a year or two later, keep in mind, I worked on this project for over 10 years. A year or two later, I'm filming in Alaska with an actress you may know by the name of Ali McGraw.
Yeah.
Who was the star of Love Story, etc., The Getaway. "What else are you working on?" So I told her about the project. And she says, "Well, I'd love to be involved." And I said, "Well, why don't you come out and check it out?" So she did. And she ended up being the host of the film that aired on PBS nationally. And that raised a whole bunch more money for her. But the work, and that film you can find on YouTube, it's called Children of the Fourth World.
Everybody
And
get
she
that?
is still doing her thing today.
She's still alive.
Still alive and still rocking, and was supposedly came down with what's the degenerative disease, muscle degenerative disease, ALS.
Yeah, yeah.
And has had that diagnosis for 10 years and is still living. So, but I'm not surprised. It's Kari.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
But this woman, and if you want to be inspired, check out Children of the Fourth World. She's almost as cool as Al, but
Listen, we're going to start another TV show, another news show with John, and called Truth Be Told, and with interesting.
And you pick the lies out in between.
and we can tell these wonderful stories. I mean, and you really got to tune in to Peace Vision and take a look at those stories. Any one of them just keeps me right glued to it. And now you're working on Curveball, which
yeah, that's coming out real soon. That's Curveballs is the story of
this is
the
the
world's only amputee baseball team, and David Van Sleet, who was a guy that came into my office one day and told me about this team, and I just said, I'm in. They didn't have a budget. They still don't.
Yeah.
But we made the movie anyway.
You like that?
And our specialty is to do anything for nothing. But no, that film's about to get released.
Yeah.
I'm real proud of it because it's a story of a bunch of guys that didn't feel sorry for themselves and got off the couch after losing an arm or a leg.
Yeah.
And went for it to live their lives to their fullest.
These guys are great. What a fantastic bunch of guys, man. He put this together, and what a great story.
There was actually a Major League Baseball pitcher that was a one-arm pitcher at some time that made the majors.
Yeah. One hand. The one guy made the majors, too. I don't know whether there's one arm, one hand.
His name's Jim Abbott. He's in our
That's him.
He's in our film.
Oh, very good.
Okay,
I'll tell you a funny story about Jim Abbott.
Tell me.
So, as I said, it was a low budget. And I said, Jim, we'd love to have you in our film. I'll go to you, whatever it takes. He says, okay, well, I live in La Jolla or wherever it was in California, Newport Beach. So I said, okay, I'll go out there. So I booked a hotel that was affordable, right?
Right.
And he comes over and I meet him in the parking lot and he says, well, I hope my wife doesn't drive by here. this place is known for prostitution.
Oh, whoops.
So he
right.
was very gracious, and we knocked the interview out and told us the amazing story about how he threw a no-hitter for the Yankees with
Unbelievable.
one hand. And what a guy he is. And if you happen to see, the ESPY Awards the other night.
I did. I watched them.
He was the recipient
Yes.
of the of an award that John Lack,
Yeah.
my buddy that started MTV,
Yeah.
came up with, the Jimmy V
Yeah.
Award.
Yeah, Jim Valvano.
And it's an interesting backstory. John watched him die on camera, literally.
Right.
Like he was still doing the news, and
Yeah.
and he went to management and said, "What are we doing? We got to do something for this guy," And he came up with the idea for that award, and
Right.
he went. He could barely make it, but he went to that first award presentation. The Jimmy V,
Yeah,
named
I
in
saw-
his honor.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw
John
that.
Lack was the guy that came up with that.
That's where I saw the guy the other night, John, the ESPY Awards, taking that.
Mr. Abbott, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Didn't they make a movie about him at one point too?
They just came out with ESPN just came out with a film called, they do a series called 30 for 30,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called Southpaw, and it's his story.
It's his story. Very
Yeah.
nice.
What an amazing man, huh?
He's and a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Just so humble, and what's interesting is almost 4 or 5 of the players on this team had gotten unsolicited, letters and phone calls from him. He'd be like, "Hello, it's Jim App. How did you get my number?" Right? But that's who this guy is. He's just unbelievable.
So now, what we're going to do, if you can't sleep at night, you're having a hard time sleeping, don't take any of that melatonin. Just give John a call and let him tell you a story. And you go to sleep.
Bedtime story.
He's got some
Well, that-
wonderful stories.
Fact
in
or
the big
fiction?
book.
They're not boring. but
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story, Al.
Right, yeah.
They say the big book is a great sleeping pill.
But let's
Start
bring
reading
this
that.
back around to why I came here.
Yeah.
well,
It wasn't
yeah.
to talk about me.
Yeah.
It was to talk about my new project that has to do with
What's your
Al Kinkle.
Oh, what do you got?
And we're doing a new documentary about not just Al, but it's about what I think a lot of people need to know that they come here to find the answers for. And whether you're trying to figure out, how do you get relative help? How do you get yourself help? How do you work around the insurance to getting and paying for these things? All those things that most people are left in the dark about, we hope to address and give some really helpful, useful information in this film. And this is the one I'm most excited about because, Al, what you've done after losing your daughter, Kimmy, to a heroin overdose, most people probably wouldn't be able to get off the couch again.
That's right.
And the way you've inspired a community and brought people together and all the thousands of people that you've helped, Kimmy is definitely smiling.
Yeah.
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 And let me do a little shout out because it was our mutual friend Kim Becker
Yeah.
that first introduced me to you, and Kim is an angel as well.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Kim, for hooking us up. And you have another angel in your life as well,
Yes, I do.
and her name is Heidi Webb. And
Heidi
Mark,
Webb.
Mark, her significant
And Mark.
other, is somewhere in the room.
He is our executive producer.
Oh, our executive producer. Good move.
There he is back
They
there
are
in
an
the corner.
awesome
Mark.
couple.
Mark
Yeah.
Santora, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Give
Mark,
him a nice
get in
round
here.
of applause.
Mark and Heidi, right?
But I think what's going on in our lives here at Kimmies Recovery Zone is the fact that people are really great. People are really nice. People really want to help.
How can they help?
They can help.
Can they
by-
give money, Al?
Yeah, they can give.
How do we
money.
do that?
Jeez, absolutely.
How can
They
they
send
do
me
that?
out to the door and you hand it to me.
There's plenty of.
Where do they go? Is there a website?
We got everything right here.
KimmiesRecoveryZone.org. Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
that's it.
KimmiesRecoveryZone.org.
Right.
Is there an easy way to donate?
Yeah, it's easy to do that online. You can do that online. Donate online. You can.
What about
you can go to
volunteers?
event-
Do you accept
volunteers?
those?
Yeah, Mondays, Fridays are good days for volunteers. But anytime that somebody wants to volunteer, they can call here, get in touch with somebody, and then we'll fix them up to volunteer. And we have.
You do accept money.
Yeah, just,
Okay.
yes,
Just want to be
yes,
sure.
absolutely. We take it in any way we can get it, the money.
You know,
So,
what we haven't mentioned is somebody that was by your side since I met you, and that's no longer with us, and that's Brent.
Brent Sheneman,
Brent,
Brent Schoenemann
legend.
was everywhere you were, he was. And
yeah, he was my right-hand man. Brent
Yeah.
was a great artist, great man, and I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
John,
Thanks for
cool
bringing
guy.
him up.
yeah, and John sent a picture to us yesterday with Brent in it, and I
Right.
said, I miss our guy.
Right.
Yeah, he was a wonderful
Yeah.
man, real good guy.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something else. You did a documentary, your first one of us, and it won the film festival. And how are we doing with that? What are we going to do? We're going anywheres with that? We're going to wait. We got things to put in there.
I put a check in the mail to you. I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Heidi got it first.
No, Heidi always takes the
What?
money. She don't let me get near it. She knows better. But so we had that first documentary, and it turned out really good. I say John, but all of us together, we won the film festival here in Fort Myers, which is a great honor. And
And a shout out to Eric Raditz.
Yeah, Eric Radis, the
Yeah,
president,
he's a
who's
great guy.
actually on our
Founder
board.
of the film festival.
Yeah, the founder for 19 years, I think.
And on your board.
And he's on our board.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, so Eric's just a great, another angel. And I think that's it. I really think when you're doing good things, when you're doing bad things surround you. I know in my business and restaurants and nightclubs and all, I was doing stuff with bad things were happening around me because I was involved in that. But when you're doing good things, you're surrounded by good people. So I don't know any bad people anymore. They're all good. Everybody wants to help. Even if they're on the road to recovery and not there yet, they still are good people. They still want to help. Everybody deserves a chance.
Amen.
And Eric, you said it just a few minutes ago. Believe in yourself. Believe. You can do it. You can do anything you want to do.
That
I
was
love
Isaac.
this guy right here.
Yeah.
Right there.
Thanks, Isaac.
That was Isaac. Yeah. Very good. All right. Give John a nice round of
guys.
applause. Right? So, what a wonderful segment, and you do such wonderful work, and I'm going to hit the YouTube thing and start watching all your stuff that I wasn't even aware of. So I'm going to start doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have some closing comments. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery, RatedRforRecovery.com.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud.
He had a little girl named Kimmy with a laugh that lit the room. Then fentanyl came like a storm cloud and took her way too soon. He kneeled down by her bedside with a prayer he could not shake. Then he said, I won't just break here, I will build for others' sake. So he opened up the doors where the hurting could walk in, with a couch, a meal, a blanket, and a chance to start again. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. There are folding chairs and coffee. There are boxes by the wall. There are nights he stays up answering every single call. A father with a broken Now he hands out help in silence till somebody makes it right. From the ashes of his sorrow, he makes shelter out of grief. And now every soul that reaches finds a place to breathe. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For a community. For a community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For Kimmy, he keeps going. For the ones who need a way. For the moms and dads and brothers who are fighting night by day. If your hands are full of falling, if your name feels far from hope, step inside, the door is open. You are not alone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud. Hi, this is Al Kinkle. We would like to invite everyone to Party in the Park 2026 on September 12th during National Recovery Month. This year's event will be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. For sponsorship packages and volunteer info, visit kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. Let's make this year's event the most memorable yet.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear. And I
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
call it all angels.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rated R for Recovery. You've just, if you're just tuning in, you missed a great show. But the good news is that you can go back, Joy, on YouTube and just rewind it and watch it again.
I do every week.
Do you really?
I go watch old ones.
Very good, very good. So we encourage you, if you're not busy, to go to YouTube and find us, Rated R for Recovery. It comes up either FOR or Rated R, the number 4 Recovery. And then like and subscribe and pass it around to your friends. Let people know what we're doing. Come down at 507 Center Road to the KRZ studios on Tuesday. See it live. And then we might
Tell
even...
us what we're doing, because we don't always know.
We don't know. We fly by the seat of our pants. But we might even book you on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us next week for another wonderful show where we have an ex-fireman who struggled, and then we have the Gladiolus Food Bank coming in, and we have this young lady right here who will be singing for your dining and dancing pleasure right here on Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Good night.